Hello? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On August 2nd, 2017, a building at the Minnehaha Academy in Minneapolis, Minnesota was destroyed by a natural gas explosion. As a result, 2 Minnesotans were killed and 9 were injured. Unfortunately, we still don't have much information about this event. Ms. Hamady, I understand the NTSB's investigation is ongoing, but can you provide any information about the board's processes and when we may be able to learn more from about this fatal incident?
Thank you for the question. We are in the process of preparing our brief, which is our final report, and that should be out by the end of this fiscal year. Shortly before that, we will open the public docket to provide some information about the investigation that we've obtained that then becomes publicly available. At that time, I'm happy to come in and brief you and your staff to talk about what that information is. I did talk with our Office of Railroads, Pipelines, and Hazardous Materials to see what types of issues the investigators are looking at, and 4 groups were formed as part of the investigation to look at pipeline operations, human performance, survival factors, and the emergency response to the pipeline accident. In addition to that, materials looking at testing of the pipeline, and investigators are also looking at subcontractor oversight and worker qualifications. As our process moves forward, we're happy to come in and brief you.
Thank you so much. Just following up on that, the NTSB has long recommended that the Department of Transportation, PHMSA, and PHMSA's predecessor examine the need for leak detection on pipelines and issue a regulation on this topic. Can you talk a little bit more about why this is important?
Leak detection is about response time. If you have a leak that you don't discover for a substantial amount of time, you're going to end up with more damage, lives lost, people injured, and communities severely affected. If I look at some of the most recent incidents where we have investigated, you have PG&E, this latest one in San Francisco that I was at 2 hours to shut down the pipeline, and 95 minutes, 2 hours and 45 minutes at a previous one, and 9 hours before that. In one we conducted in Centerville, the pipeline operator didn't detect a leak for 2 full days and kept telling the emergency responders there wasn't a problem on the pipeline. We need to detect leaks not only so that the operator can immediately respond, but that so emergency responders can respond. And it's not just, PHMSA does have performance standards that they issue in their regulations. It's not just that these operators need to use leak detection systems, and it's not just one, it may be many, but they also have to have performance standards. PHMSA has to issue performance standards for leak detection. For example, Alaska requires that all crude oil pipelines be equipped with a leak detection system capable of promptly detecting a leak of no more than 1% of daily throughput. That's a performance standard that doesn't exist in PHMSA regulations right now. And it's beyond just the leak detection systems themselves and the performance standards. You have to have proper training for personnel, good corporate policies, sort of a safety management system so you make sure everyone is properly trained and addresses the problem.
Just following up to that, Mr. Elliott, can you tell us what prevents you from having those performance standards in place?
Congressman, thank you for the question. A number of the items that you made specific reference to on leak detection, again, are included in the mandates that we're working to complete, the liquid rule as well as the rupture detection and valve rule. We at PHMSA are working to complete those and hope to have those out as final rules in the very near future. And we think that will address many of the issues that you may make reference to.
Well, it can't come soon enough for families in my state.
I understand.
Thank you. I yield back.